and it's a Daily Pickle.
Daily Pickle.
All right, let's just start with the home run derby rules because it's going to take a little bit to kind of decipher how ridiculous some of the new changes are, but also how fair some of them are. The one thing that popped out the most was the amount of pitches each guy gets. They get the same. I've been saying this for 20 years. I used to cover this for ESPN Radio. I did 10 years doing it on the field. It's exhausting for these guys. They're out there forever. They sit forever waiting for the other players in front of them to get finished. Then they go back out there cold. That's not what baseball players do. Once they warm up in a regular game, they're out there for the 3.5, 4 hours they play. They're done. With this system, a lot of it is stop and go, and commercials involved. Guys waiting for their next round, and a lot of guys don't want to do that. They don't want to risk injury, and they certainly don't want to try to put on a show. And I think this is a way with some of the new rules where, all right, we're gonna do it a little bit differently and see if this format works. Listen, they've been trying to change formats for years.
Correct.
One time they did it, the United States players versus the rest of the world. I thought that was hokey and corny. They've tried numerous ways to kind of change with the time element and the bonus 30 seconds here. You hit a long enough home run there. Again, makes you extend yourself because these guys don't hit like that day to day. There's a lot of guys. I'll give you a reason why I don't think Shohei will do this ever. Not only just the injuries, he does not take live BP at all during the season. In the offseason, that's not his shtick. His shtick is hitting off the tee and soft toss, which was very much like Walt Riniak. What he taught, he did it with a lot of great players, including my teammate Frank Thomas, who's in the Hall of Fame. A lot of those guys didn't want to hit off what they call dead arm, which is a coach thrown from 30 feet away, thrown at 60 miles an hour. And that's very much what the home run derby is based upon. Getting a guy that can set you up with a 60-mile-an-hour throw to where you want to hit it. And for some guys, they don't want to be a part of that.
So the balance for Major League Baseball over the years, at least in my estimation, is balancing the excitement versus the tax on the actual player. Because back when the 10-out system was had, and I'm going back to the Ken Griffey Jr. days in your 1990s, early 90s days where you had 10 outs. And the problem with that was so many people were waiting for the perfect pitch, and their guy wasn't giving them that 60 mile an hour in the zone where they wanted it, so they'd sit and watch because they're not going to waste a swing and mess up their outs. So then it's like, okay, get rid of the outs. Let's bring in the time. And the time made it exciting. But as you have stated over all the years that you've been in this studio, the home run derby wastes the home run hitter through the back half of the season.
Yeah.
We have seen this happen. Aaron Judge is one of the culprits in this. I would say the 2017 or maybe 2018 home
Bobby
run derby.
Abreu years ago, he hit a ton of home runs in the home run derby and hit just a few home runs, a handful in the second half of the season. Maybe it screwed his swing up. Maybe it changed some things for him. But for these guys, again, when you tell them to go out there and swing as hard as they can, max effort, it would be like telling a pitcher to go out there and for 50 pitches, throw it as hard as you can. If you get injured, we don't care because we're not the ones doing the extra stress.
So here are the new rules where they're trying to join up the excitement and the less taxing into one, where we have outs and time and pitch count all involved here. So this is how the first and second rounds, or first round and semifinals, will go. It will still be 8 batters as it typically is. The first round, there will be a 3-minute period. You only have 3 minutes. You only get 40 pitches max. You can take 25 pitches without even swinging before you swing your first one. Then you only have 15 after that, for example. 1 timeout during that 3-minute period. There will also be 3 outs. However, if you hit a 425-foot home run or further, you will receive a 4th bonus out. Now, that is exactly how the rounds will go. So I'm assuming if I swing at my first 3 pitches and they're ground balls, I'm done. So this could potentially be very short-lived for some rounds. But them's the breaks. That's the chances you take.
Well, and let me jump in here. One of the reasons why they got to 40 pitches is last year's home run derby, the minimum average was 43 pitches around, or 43 swings around by the participants. Right. So when you're swinging 43 times, they don't take 43 swings a day during the major league season. So to make a guy do like 3-4 rounds and possibly swing 140 to 160 swings, that's putting a lot of stress on these athletes, and I'm sure the teams were pissed about that.
So over the years, it has been a mono versus mono bracket situation. For the first round this year in 2024, it will be all 8 participants playing against each other, and the top 4 will advance to the next round. Tie will be broken by longest home run in the first round and semifinals, so on and so forth. Then it will be bracket style in the second round, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. And the final top 2 will face off. The winner will go second. That will be based off the furthest home run in the semifinals. So hopefully everyone follows there. I kind of like these rules. The finals will be a little bit shorter, 2-minute rounds, 27 pitches. Still get your 1 timeout, and still the bonus out will apply. But this basically takes it down to a 4-out scenario, maximum of 40 pitches. I think the excitement's there. I think, the potential, if you don't want to do it, you're tired, go ahead and throw 3 bunts down, and then you're out. There's going to be some guys that are trying to crank that only hit the top of the wall, and they're going to be out. Foul balls are outs as well. So I think this is going to really speed it up to be less taxing, more of a high sense of urgency, I would say. For everyone.
Because you're again, the old style was outs, and the players knowing that I can't play around with a line drive type ball.
Right.
Yes, I may take balls and not swing at them, but I'll pick out pitches where I could hit it 450 feet, which again, if you go back to the black and white 1950s, 1960s, where there were no fans in the stands and it was Willie Mays versus Mickey Mantle type stuff, was amazing. It was amazing drama for TV. I like the fact that those old style home run derbies weren't just done at the All-Star game. They were done during the season when the teams were facing off playing each other, and they were done in New York or wherever they wanted to do them, and filming it. But the guy who wasn't hitting did the color commentating on the guy who was hitting.
I do like that.
I like that Mickey Mantle is talking about Willie Mays and not just, some jabroni that they throw up there is talking about these guys. It is 2 of the best in the game going head to head, and that's what you're looking for at this home run derby, which again, I like Gunnar Henderson, but he's not one of the best in the game at home run hitting. He's having a great half of the season, but I'd like to see Aaron Judge against Shohei Ohtani, or I'd like to see Rafael Devers versus somebody of his ilk, and then they sit down and they talk about the other guy and maybe give suggestions to kids on how to hit. That's another thing that I was talking to you off the air about. Some of these Hall of Fame hitters are starting to blast Major League Baseball because you have guys that have no business teaching hitting, being hitting instructors at the Major League level. When I was coming up and when I was in the major leagues, you had either Hall of Fame hitters or guys that were close to Hall of Famers, like a Ted Kluszewski, who had multiple home run winning seasons at the National League level as your hitting instructor. Tony Perez, Hall of Famer, was a hitting instructor. Now we have guys that are from, some hitting institute that we've never heard of as your big league hitting coaches because A, they're cheap, and B, they're on the analytics side of this stuff. So I think that Home Run Derby is trying to make everybody happy. But again, we'll wait and see because I'm with you. I don't want a guy to hit 3 ground outs and he's out of the competition. That's insane. I want the guy to get his 40 pitches, but take the outs out of it. Listen, the guy gets 40 pitches, he gets 30 pitches, he gets 20 pitches, and that's how the rounds go. So we're trying to kind of, appease everybody here, but you don't need to. The guys that accept this home run derby know what the rules are going to be, and I certainly don't like the out format.
I wonder about Judge and Shohei. My gut tells
Shohei's
me
not doing
they're
it.
not going to do it just because of
He's coming off of Tommy John's
injuries.
injury.
And for Judge, that's been there and done that. He's already won, but he's also been ruined because of one. But Gunnar Henderson's already signed up.
I could see Vlad Jr. doing it. I could see some of the guys that really enjoy doing that
Peter
that are
Alonso
younger.
wants to
Peter
do it.
Alonso
He
always wants to do it because he's won the title a few times. But you've got guys around Major League Baseball that they should look at and be like, if Mike Trout were healthy, Mike, do you want to do this? This is good for the game to promote the game.
Your team's not going anywhere.
Well, and the reason why they're doing the amount of pitches is because they're doing it like the 3-point shooting in the NBA. That's one of the most exciting things besides the dunk contest. Yeah. And so when you've got a little bit of both, but I still don't like the fact that you want to do the out system and 3 bonus outs and stuff. That's kind of hokey. I like the guy hit it 470 feet. He gets 30 seconds more. He should get like 10 pitches more. I've always like, hey, 10 pitches versus 10 pitches. It just keeps it fair.
I really don't want any of my Guardian friends to get up there because they are 4 and 7 in the home run list. J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, and then Josh Naylor.
He's not known as being a home run derby kind of guy.
I agree. I hope both of them don't do it, but there's going to be plenty of Yankees that are going to. Oh gosh, Giancarlo Stanton's got 16, or he's got 18. Oh yeah, that's right.
Again, when I'm looking at injuries, even a guy like Casas, who's a huge, big dude.
Yeah.
If I want big, strapping guys, those are the kind of guys I want in the home run derby. I mean, I want Yordan Alvarez. I want Kyle Tucker. I want the dudes, Austin Riley, Matt Olson with the Braves. These are the guys that I want to see. Bryce Harper, who just got injured, Schwarber. These are the guys that I want to see in the home run derby. Just because statistically the guy's got 30 home runs, guy might hit 2 home runs in the second half of the season. Who knows? And we put him in the home run derby because he's got a lot of home runs. No, I want to see the guys that have 350 or 400 home runs so far in their careers. I want to see those guys dueling it out.
Last night at Citi Field, it went to extra innings, but 5 runs came across in the 11th for the Houston Astros. They beat the New York Mets 10-5. The Astros the umps tried to ump the Astros in so many different ways. They got through one time, but they did it on a ball 4 count. The umps literally forgot the count and had to go to video replay to make sure it was a walk. That is beyond Little League stuff. Then another moment, as Dibbs explained earlier, Altuve fouls off his front foot. They don't think it hit his foot. It obviously hit his foot.
Right.
He didn't run it out. They call him out. He started pouting and throwing a fit, and then he got thrown out. They got umped, but still won the game.
They got umped. There was an ump moment even in the Blue Jays and the Yankees where the hitter didn't make eye contact and Gossman walked off with a strikeout. So that's garbage baseball. Nobody wants to see that. I don't think the hitter wants it. The pitcher doesn't want it. You want them to be performing out there. But Altuve, listen, as much as I don't like the guy had a gripe and he was PO'd about it. Even went to the replay and still said it didn't hit his foot. And when I listened to the game, I went to the game and listened to it when it was happening. The Mets announcers even agreed it hit his foot. So when the opposing team's announcers are like, yeah, it kind of hit his foot. And the umpires ump you, it's not a good look. The product is hurting. And you're hurting the product because you keep going to the replay bureau in New York. The hockey does it. They go to the replay bureau in Toronto. It's like, to me, it's like, listen, the guys at the field should try to get this call right. The only time you go to the bureau is, guys, I got to overturn you guys. You missed this. It hit his foot. Go back, change the call, make it right. We're getting to the point, again, the umpires don't want to embarrass each other. So they're going with the call that was original on the field, and using replay to say, well, it's not beyond a shadow of a doubt. This isn't a courtroom. It's a baseball game. And the people don't want to get reffed at a baseball game. They're paying a lot of money to go to these games unless you're going to the A's game or the Angels. But for the most part, honestly, I did like it for the effect of Altuve losing his mind and getting ejected. The fans got a good show there.
Wyatt Langford, first Texas Ranger.
First rookie,
to hit a
since O.B. McDowell.
And he's the first cycle of the season. Wyatt Langford here to stay or just had a really good day?
Had a really good day. I want 3 good years before I say a guy's going to be here for a long time.
22.
22. He's getting a lot of chances because of injuries, but Listen, the Rangers are a terrible team right now. From a team that won the World Series to Bruce Bochy going, I don't know what kind of team we are, 75, 80 games into the season.
Yeah.
That kind of scares me.
38-46 right now for the Texas Rangers. They did beat the Orioles in that game, but needed a cycle to do it.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of mediocre teams around baseball, and a lot of it has to do with inconsistency hitting and inconsistency on defense. And until the players basically are shown the way with the coaching staffs forcing them to do infield and outfield, you're going to see shoddy baseball. And a lot of former major leaguers now are complaining. Hall of Famers are complaining. But the commissioner and upper management don't seem to be listening. As long as they're making money, as long as they keep selling tickets to the show, it's kind of like a circus that you're like, all right, but to me, it's the ultimate product that filters down in college. College, we saw a great college World Series. High school, we're seeing, well-played, hard-nosed baseball, but now you're getting to the point where it's like, well, why do I need to put the work in? The NBA is suffering because guys are getting away with murder. They're basically saying, you could travel, you could do this, you could, you could take load management days off and stuff like that. You got to stop that. I don't care how much money you make. You've got to start forcing the issue of, guys, you got to promote your own product. And that starts with on the court, on the field, on the ice. The better you guys are at your profession, the more eyeballs we're going to have. Why do you think the WNBA is flourishing? We haven't talked about Angel Reese yet today. Angel Reese just set a record for 10 double-doubles in a season. She gets it. She knows, I got to come. I got to put on a show even though I'm a rookie. Caitlin Clark, she gets it. I got to put on a show even in a losing effort. If I don't, and her own team's like, you have to take a minimum of 15 shots.
Yep.
They know that the product is being sold through the player, and that's what these major leaguers have to start getting.
We'll see. The Orioles and Yankees are the best race going right now. Everyone else has a pretty comfortable lead in their division already, but those two are knotted in the AL East.
Well, your Brewers keep winning.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Your
Move
Brewers,
on.
yeah, they keep
Move
racking
on.
up wins over your Cubsters.
5 grand slams already in a season for the Milwaukee Brewers. But
again, that's I don't blame them as much as I blame the pitching. The 3, 4, 5 guys in a rotation. We can't get to the 7th inning mentality. We'll bring in the 8th best pitcher out of the bullpen in the 6th inning in a pressure situation, and he's not good.
He ain't good.
Exactly. There you go. So, anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we got Dibbles and Bits for you.
91